Let's talk about crazy broads. I was watching one of those interrogation crime videos, whatever, and it reminded me of my ex. And so I looked her up. You know, every few years I try to see if I can just find a picture, see if she's alive, whatever, you know. And so I looked her up, and I found a profile I hadn't seen. I probably haven't looked her up in like 2-3 years. But I found this picture of her from back in 2021. She has, like, I guess she's just dyed her hair purple, like a metallic purple color. And you can like see the crazy in her eyes. You know, it's like shocking how I look at this person and I think like DZIG and I designate designate. That's what that license plate says, designate, whatever. But I start thinking about it. I start thinking about that relationship and how just insane it was. And how, you know, I mean, you know, I was really, really fucked up back then. You know, oxys were all the rage. This is back when they were still the OCs, the OxyContins, the blue ones, with the coating that you could scrape off. Well, you'd suck on it and you'd get it all wet, and then you'd rub it off with a napkin or something. Come on. And it's just wow, what a crazy time in my life. And really, I like, you know, my affinity for crazy broads, it comes directly back to my mom. Like, it goes directly back to my mom. And I don't think women realize just how much damage they do to their male children when they're nuts, when they don't deal with their own issues and their own dysfunctions, and then they are the role model for the female role model for the children. Like, I wonder where, you know, because my old girlfriends had 2 kids. I think about, like, just how did I ever find myself in that position? And I know how. It was out of desperation. It was out of stupidity. So I was in Virginia, and I left California because I figured I'd die if I stayed there. I was actually friends with the drug dealer, with the guy that had these 2 screws the size of a lighter in his back. He got in a motorcycle accident. And yeah, go watch parts 1 through 9, Max. That'll answer all your questions. But I knew that I couldn't stay in California and be friends with the drug dealer and survive. I knew that was a recipe for disaster. And at the time, Ford did one of its big buyout things, and they moved a bunch of people around, and like one of the things, like they moved some people from Michigan to Virginia. And so I had a buddy who lived with 2 other dudes. They had this big, like, 3-4 bed. It was a huge house. I don't even, you know, rent had to be like $2,000 a month or something. I don't remember. But it was just this big house. where everybody, each person had their own bedroom. They had a pool. Like it was ideal. It was pretty nice, on the surface. I didn't know how much I would hate Virginia. Virginia was just awful. I say it like it's a big deal, and it shouldn't. But like Virginia, the speed limits were 55, right? You watched all of the first nine parts, and you still have questions? Obviously, you didn't watch those videos then. Like, unless you're wondering, like the reason why they lie to us is for control. If that's your question, what's it all about? It's about control. It's about having the Goyim believe that they control everything. Land, sea, air, under the water, up in the space, everything. They have every angle covered. So don't you think you can get away with anything? If that's what you're talking about, then that's, I've said it many, many times, but again, whatever. And again, all you guys always want to talk about me. You don't like when I talk about the big picture, right? You love hearing me stuff. So I'm telling you guys me stories today. So I moved to Virginia. I actually kicked the drugs before I moved. And I was excited about a new start. And then I got to Virginia, and Virginia just sucked. I was so depressed in Virginia. It was just so awful there. I got a job working at a hearing aid place, like I was a hearing aid technician. And my boss was like, I used to come to work in a nice suit, looking good, cared about my appearance and all that. And this guy was this fat fuck who, like, at one point I had to tell him, like, dude, you need to cut your nails. Your fingernails are long and gross, and you're selling hearing aids where people look down at your fingers all the time, man. You got, like, I'm telling my boss this. He's only a year older than me, I think. And he got the company from his dad and blah, blah, blah. And so there was it was me, him, and then there was the secretary, Jody. And he liked Jody, I guess. He'd be so weird, like, oh man, I really like Jody. And it was like, Jody would never date you, dude. You're such a fat goober. Why would Jody ever date you? I'm sorry, it was an accident. But Jody liked me, and I had like given up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to 60 days, right. Your cousin in the Navy is telling you the truth. Isn't it weird how it's not even titled submarines and these idiots still want to talk about it? How do they control such elements that feel beyond the scope of control possible? How do submarines come in? Dude, submarines are boats. They are boats. They go just under the surface of the water, and they're boats. I don't know what else you need to know. My cousin, why would my cousin lie to me for control? Okay, because military people lie to civilians all the time. He lies to you if that's what he's told to do, because the military means more to them than you do. That's how they're trained to be. It's basically what you're saying is your own ego prevents you from believing something, right? Because my cousin wouldn't lie to me. Of course your cousin would lie to you. If that's what the orders say, that's what he's going to do. But, so this is the year that the hurricane hits Virginia. I can't remember what the name of the hurricane was. But I can tell you that was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life. It really reminds you of how small you are, how insignificant you are. And it's just so much power, and there's so much energy in the air. And we were down by the beach, down by the water, and we were just nuts. We were young 23, 24-year-old dudes who thought we were invincible. And so the hurricane hits, and it shuts everything down for like a week. And Jody was really, really determined. And so Jody and I hook up, and it's just a hookup. It's not supposed to be anything. So every military person follows orders and doesn't go, oh, submarines are fake. I had to say, while you are the first and only person I've ever heard say they are fake. Exactly. So you would think it wouldn't bother people so much, but it does. Why does it seemingly bother people so much that even on videos where I'm not talking about it, they still want to talk about it? Why does it matter to so many people whether or not I believe in submarines? Basically, what it is that I'm right. Like if I told you I believed in unicorns, nobody'd give a shit. It'd be some shit talkers and all that, but that'd get old real quick. There's a reason why me saying that seems to stick with you so much. Right? It's because you know it. You know it doesn't make any sense. You know that the tin cans that go down, if they went down 50, 60, 100 feet below the water, you know that they get crushed. You know they can't just make air. You know they can't. How do they communicate? Like there's just so many aspects of it that are fucking stupid, and you know it, and that's why it sticks with you so much. That's why it sticks in your craw so much. It's because you're while you are believing so much of a lie that you think it's the truth, but you say that go back to me, I guess. What? I think it's because you titled it for a long time in all your videos, and I still will. It's called the title of a show. My aunt used to run a radio program, and the radio program was called Wasabi Bistro. Wasabi and bistro have nothing to do with each other. And they definitely have nothing to do with the name, with the radio program. But because that was the name of it, that's what it's called. I don't think everybody would call every day like, I'd like to place an order, please. This is the Wasabi Bistro, right? It's stupidity. You know what? Just because I want to be nice today, you know what we'll do? Why don't we come back? Come on back. We'll reset. Come on back.